So, I've been meaning to do a talk for a while. Kind of been debating on what I wanted to say and what I wanted to convey. And I guess the first video would be appropriate that I explain why I decided to start a YouTube channel in the first place. And the biggest reason that I can see is that I can see that the world is not in a good shape. I can see that society is in the death throes of utter collapse. A while ago, I gone through a divorce and I wasn't in the right place. You know, I'd grown up believing history books and story books and, you know, good morals and all that stuff, just to find out as an adult it's all crap. Nobody actually does it. You know, there are a few people out there that try to do that type of thing, but they don't. As a society, we don't. So the collapse bit, I feel like we are outgrowing our environment, our biosphere, and we are putting a huge tax on it to the point that it's not going to be able to recover. So in my life, I have tried to get back to figuring out what I can do, what I can learn to save myself. But in realizing that, even if I do come across all the skills to be able to save myself, I necessarily won't be able to survive without all of you guys. My family, your families, we all kind of need each other. We all have to work together, and it's a pretty bleak outlook on how things are in the world today. So why did I start this channel? These things that I'm learning that were meant in the first place for me to learn in my path of knowledge. That's the path I chose in life, was to learn everything I possibly could before I died. And who knows why? There's no real reason, because if you learn everything and you die, it's just like having all kinds of material goods. Can you take it with you? I don't know. Maybe you can. I believe in a life after, in an afterlife. So maybe I can take that knowledge with me. But while I'm here, as long as I'm learning these useful skills, I can impart them, hopefully, on the rest of humanity. And instead of just saving myself, maybe I can save somebody else. Maybe I can save the world. I'm talking to the whole world. I'm putting the knowledge out there. It's up to you whether you want to learn it or not, or, you know, take it on board, think about it, maybe improve on you know what I'm saying, because I'm not right all the time. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. That's why I smoke. Nobody's perfect. Don't let anybody ever tell you that they're perfect, because they're not, or believe that they are. Even if they don't tell you, sometimes they put off an air that they're perfect, and nobody's perfect. Nobody. So, talking about collapse of society, you might not want to believe it. Again, in my life, I've decided to shed all of the unnecessary distractions that I don't need, so that I can come back into the real world and, you know, see what's going on and actually be alive. I see that too many people today are filling their lives with unnecessary distractions. One of them being YouTube. Facebook with the made up drama that people create just so they have something to do, television, watching and following sports, video games. I don't personally see anything good come out of it. I realized I had a drinking phase after my first divorce that I realized I was running away from my problems by distracting myself with alcohol. I would numb my mind and basically time travel into the future and not take care of the things that I needed to take care of, and it was affecting my life in a negative way. I realized, with drinking, I would play video games because I had nothing better to do when I got off work. I was just in the house by myself, drinking and playing video games. And 3 o'clock in the morning would roll around, and I would have to go to work. Most likely still drunk. It's not good. It's not good, to be doing that kind of thing in the first place. But then, the next day would come. I would get off of work maybe early that day or whatever, and decide, I'm gonna do some things. But then I realized, I had been out of it for five days or whatever. Like, I have been out of my reality, distracting myself, hiding from my problems, and now in that period, there's now a whole new stack of things that need to get taken care of. So that's why I decided to come back in reality and throw off all those extra things that I didn't need to be doing, and to be an active part of my life and control the things around me that I can control. And in that, I decided, before that I wanted to learn as many new things as I could. That's why I joined the Navy and became a nuclear operator. I didn't know anything about nuclear power. I decided to choose the rate electrician's mate so that I could learn about electricity. Before then, all I knew about was mechanics, from fixing family cars and chainsaws and lawn mowers and stuff like that. I had learned some things, picked them up in the Boy Scouts, but I didn't know those other things. I didn't understand those other things that I don't know. And in a path of knowledge, you want to learn new things and throw yourself into things you're not necessarily comfortable with. To pick up the knowledge, and the knowledge is the most important thing. I believe that it is. Your brain is your most powerful tool. You can have nothing and still hack out a living in a place that's not conducive to doing so. So again, if I'm doing that to help myself survive in a possible collapse of society, which I again believe is inevitable, we kind of need society again to help each other out. So it would behoove me to teach you guys all of the things that I have learned. At least try to teach you guys all of the things that I've learned, so that it can benefit you as well. And maybe if I don't make it when society collapses, maybe you guys will, and maybe you can pass on my knowledge and keep the human species alive. It's a big, huge universe, and to have intelligent life that can think about thinking and pursue learning more things and knowledge and advancing its own species, its own race is rare, is very rare, and it's precious. And I believe that is the meaning of life, is to be born, to procreate, to provide for your procreations, your children, your offspring, and then to die. And I feel like we're not doing enough of that these days. We're not providing for our offspring, and we're just going on breeding and making more creatures that constantly need more and more things and not providing it for themselves because they haven't been taught how to do it. So I guess that's why I'm doing this channel. And about the societal collapse, there's a lot of obvious huge red flags. If you don't believe me, walk outside during the daytime. It's not the daytime now that I'm recording this, but walk outside in the daytime in the clear blue sky on a sunny day and look up. 9 times out of 10 you're gonna see a plane or multiple planes flying across the sky, shooting out this line of cloud looking material behind it, and you might think to yourself, oh, that's because the plane went up into the upper atmosphere and moisture froze on its wings and then it came down and that's coming off. That's not true. I mean, that is true, that does happen, but not that much. Like, once the ice has come off, you don't have that vapor cloud anymore. These planes fly around all day, giving off this chemtrail, as some people call it. What are they doing? Who is doing it? I looked into it a little bit. Apparently it's the Air Force is doing it, and the pilots who are flying the planes don't even know what's in the back. Governments from time to time have seeded clouds, and I believe that's what they're doing. They're seeding clouds. And what does that do? Well, they put an ion basically into the atmosphere to basically collect the humidity to make clouds and make rain. So what do clouds do for the environment? Well, one, they rain, so we're providing water, and two, they shield. If you know anything, like people are afraid of volcanic explosions because of all the ash will cause a global ice age or whatever by blocking out the sun. So they block out the sun and shield the earth from the sun's rays. So there's things that tell me about that is that the government has realized that we are drying out our land. We need more water, and the sun is too hot and it's baking the land. We're turning our land into a desert because of things like overdevelopment, things like animal agriculture is huge. You're planting a whole field, like acres and acres and acres, hundreds of acres of field to feed these cattle who also need the bigger expanse of land to survive. So that's twice the deforestation, and you're going to be thinking about, like, okay, so now you took away the forest to provide food for everyone. What have you taken away? Well, there's the layer on the bottom where all the leaves collect in the forest that we've taken away. And in my gardening videos, I discussed that organic composting material holds 10 times more water than regular soil. When we're uncovering all of that compost and throwing it away and killing the forest, we're losing that water reserve. We're not holding water on the land anymore. As soon as it rains, it all washes our minerals out to sea. And we're killing the oceans too, because when that happens, it's drawing all of the fertilizers from your lawn and the cow poop and pee that's coming off of the fields, and the pesticides in the fields to feed the cows is all washing into the ocean and creating dead zones and killing fish and red tides. The only thing that can survive that kind of thing is bacteria and funguses, and those are killing the fish. So that's probably why they don't want us to know what it is, that they recognize the problem, and if we all figured it out, mass hysteria, there's ways to live responsibly and get back to treating your biosphere correctly. Don't grow grass. Put a garden in your yard instead of having somebody else put a field way off in the middle of nowhere and control what chemicals they put on it. You can grow in your own yard and provide for your family. Maybe not all of it, but most of it you can do there. Don't eat as much meat. You don't need to have a steak every single day. Vegans are kind of onto something. maybe not so much the touchy-feely bits about killing animals, and animals die for food in nature. Animals kill other animals for food. That's just a fact of life. Do we have to do it for every single meal? Absolutely not. No. It's not how we were meant to eat in the first place. There's stuff like that. Obvious things. Everybody's got to have the next biggest mall. Everybody needs a Walmart in their town. Everybody needs, amenities right down the street. So yeah, there's all that stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and cry about it. I'm not gonna tell you guys like you have to learn it, and point fingers and blame people, and get a big fuss in it. If society collapses and I die, well then I die. If humanity doesn't make it, then humanity doesn't make it. But it'd be cool if we could. It'd be cool if things would keep happening the way they're happening. Well, not right now necessarily, but I mean society advancing, and maybe we can populate other planets in the future. But at this point, I don't think we're going to be able to make it that long before we get some kind of arc in space to get us to another planet. But because we're going to need one pretty soon, and eventually. I don't know if you know this, but the Earth is a celestial body flying through space, and there are other celestial bodies flying through space. Eventually, they collide with something else, and that's just a fact of life. And if they don't collide with something else, they get sucked into a black hole in the middle of it. It's pretty bleak, but it's the truth. Look it up. So what am I asking of you guys? I'm asking you guys, maybe not necessarily to take everything I say as the exact truth and know all being omnipotent, knowledge, but I'm asking you guys to learn something, to go out every day and learn something new and apply those skills and try to make things a little bit better. If you don't want to do that, I can't make you. I can't make you do any of that. It's a good idea. I'm just going to say that. I think it's a good idea. That's my opinion. I own that. Anything I'm saying is my opinion, and I own my opinions. You can like me for it. You can hate me for it. I don't really care. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and cry about the world is going to shit. You can choose to see it or not, but I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because I believe that it's right. I'm going to keep trying to teach people. If they learn it, they learn it. If they don't, they don't. And, we'll see what happens, I guess. That's the only thing you can do in life. Just live it to the best of your abilities, and whatever happens, happens. Just enjoy the ride. So on that note, I guess I'll close this out. I hope you guys found this informative, maybe possibly enlightening. I hope you guys have an outstanding day. I'm out.